Tonight on Newswatch, Athens City Council will vote on a proposal to offer early retirement to employees. Plus,
it's terrible. I would absolutely not be out driving if I didn't have to be.
The East Coast braces itself for a powerful storm making its way across the country. And in sports, both Ohio basketball teams were sent home early in the MAC tournament, but one is playing postseason basketball. Newswatch starts right now. Good evening, I'm Charlie Ehlenfeld. Welcome to Newswatch. Athens City Council will vote on a program to offer employees an early retirement. The program will offer city employees three options, each totaling $30,000 in health care coverage. The program was proposed by Safety Service Director Andy Stone after the city experienced its highest health care costs in its history last year. Stone said the city could save up to $6.4 million, but Stone clarified the city would be unable to access the full benefits because they would have to hire new employees. He hopes this will ease the city's dire financial straits.
Tight budget situation. In fact, tight is probably, being conservative in describing it. I mean, it's as tight or as concerning as I've seen it since I've worked here, and I've worked here a very long time.
Stone wants to give employees until April 15th to decide if they want to take the city's offer, which 18 employees would qualify for. He stressed this will not be a one-shot solution for their financial issues. We're just getting used to the spring temperatures, but now we're back to snow. Here to make sense of the unpredictable weather is forecaster Steve Nedlick.
Yeah, Charlie, we've really had all four seasons today. I mean, we woke up and it was about 50 degrees, and ever since then, it's been downhill. We're sitting at currently 30 degrees, and we just had some really heavy snow come through about an hour and a half ago, and that snow is just going to stick around as we head through the middle of the night. As you can see on radar, it was rain in the morning, it kind of went to this ice-snow mix, and then it's going to transition to these flurries that we're going to be dealing with throughout the rest of the night as we go later into the evening. And we can kind of tell by this temperature map how the warm air is just kind of pushed off to the east, and it kept us a lot cooler, and that's what we're going to be dealing with for the next few days or so. So it's going to be back to feeling like winter for a few days. As for tonight, a low of 21, so if you're heading out, make sure you grab some boots and a hat because it's going to be chilly again, nothing like yesterday. For tomorrow, we're going to be right at the freezing line, 32, and a low of 19. So we're going to start cold this week, but if you stay tuned for my full forecast, we're going to slowly warm up and begin to feel like summer again.
Thanks, Steve. 3 Ohioans have been identified as victims in a refueling operation in Iraq last week. 38-year-old Captain Seth Koval of Stoutsville in Fairfield County and 30-year-old Captain Curtis Angst alongside 28-year-old Tyler Simmons, both from Columbus, died during an operation on March 12th. All three served in the 121st Air Refueling Wing, an Air National Guard unit operating out of Ohio. The members were in Iraq as a part of Operation Epic Fury, and Ohio Governor Mike DeWine has ordered all flags in Ohio to be flown at half-staff in their honor. A missing woman whose car crashed in the Ohio River has been found. According to a release from the Meigs County Sheriff's Office, while authorities from West Virginia and Kentucky were searching the Ohio River for an unrelated man, the body of a deceased woman was discovered. Family members traveled to the scene of the discovery in Greenup County to meet with Kentucky authorities, where they made positive visual identification. 32-year-old Keely Schuler of Pomeroy crashed in the Ohio River in early February. After 25 years at Lake Snowdon, the Ohio Paw Paw Festival will be at a new venue this summer, Snowfork Events Center outside of Nelsonville. The festival announced the change in a Facebook post Wednesday. Festival founder Chris Chimel says the decision was the result of difficulties coming to an agreement with Hawking College, which owns the Lake Snowdon property. Last year, nearly 10,000 people came out to attend. This year's Paw Paw Festival is scheduled for September 18th to the 20th. West Virginia will have a new I Voted sticker for its next election. The state held a competition inviting 8th graders from across the Mountain State to submit designs, totaling over 1,000 from 42 counties before narrowing down to 4 regional winners. Reese Childers from Raleigh County was the eventual winner with a sticker featuring the state flower, the rhododendron, the state animal, the black bear, the state bird, the northern cardinal, and of course, the iconic New River Bridge. The Iran war's disruption of shipping in the Strait of Hormuz is raising big concerns for American farmers. A choke point in global fertilizer production and trade, closure of the strait has led to surging prices and fears over supply, just as many farmers are beginning their spring planting season. Michael Yoshida has more.
If we miss that window, we could have catastrophic crop failure.
Alarm bells sounding over disrupted shipping through the Strait of Hormuz and the potential impact to American farmers.
Worst case scenario, a grower may not be able to get a crop in the ground. And of course, that's going to lead to food security conversations.
The waterway is critical for transporting supplies needed to make fertilizers, as well as the finished products, including about half the world's supply of urea, a nitrogen fertilizer for crops like corn. Also, about a third of global exports of ammonia, key for most nitrogen fertilizers, and sulfur, another vital nutrient for crops. Shipments that have essentially stopped since the war.
With the closure of that strait, it's lifted prices here in the United States by several $100s per ton. So that immediately squeezes farmers' bottom line.
I've not seen this level of disruption before. Urea prices are up 50% since that Friday before.
According to the Fertilizer Institute, the U.S. imports about 35% of its fertilizer needs every year, with supplies often arriving just in time for use.
I'm told we still need to import about 25% of our need for March, April, May application.
Now, spiked costs and already low crop prices could lead to tough decisions.
We'll have to adapt either to plant a different crop that uses less fertilizer or potentially reduce the amount of fertilizer that they use, which could have an impact on crop yields and ultimately prices.
In Washington, Michael Yoshida.
Coming up, the East Coast is preparing as a massive storm system moves across the country. And it's spring break season, how you can get away without the hassle.
We got a taste of summer yesterday, but snow is back in the forecast. Stick around to see how long it lasts.
You only live once, but if you do it right, once is enough.
This is our chance to prove ourselves. Here's to possibilities.
Well, then we best get started.
There's much about me that you don't know.
You're persistent, I'll give you that. You have been busy.
Justice never sleeps. Every time I see you, there are more of you. And we're even more successful.
You are many things. You're not boring.
Let's not get carried away.
We are going to do this together. I'm really impressed.
We're looking for 3 tons of gold. It's murder. We have a match.
Probably just coincidence.
Nope.
There's never a dull moment.
What is a typical foresight? Brace yourself. You're about to discover
Something rather exciting.
What more does one need?
how splendid.
And it will be all that you've dreamed of, and more.
Sunday at 9 on WOUB.
On Masterpiece Mystery.
No! It's my neighbor. I think someone's shot him.
Mrs. Potts.
I can't have you interfering. Judith Potts.
Susie Harris.
I'm Bex Starling, the vicar's wife.
I'm trying to find out who killed my neighbor.
And you've decided to have a little poke around.
Every time I see you, there are more of you.
We're not going to stop investigating, are we?
You couldn't have just started a book club, could you?
The Marlowe Murder Club on Masterpiece Mystery.
About 75% of the U.S. population will be impacted by this ongoing winter storm. And more than 250 million people are expected to experience some type of hazardous weather. From severe thunderstorms, blizzard conditions, to widespread strong winds, Lee Waldman brings us the fallout from this monster storm.
The East Coast is bracing itself against a powerful storm that barreled through the central U.S. this weekend. The mid-Atlantic facing a historic threat from northern South Carolina to the Pennsylvania-Maryland border, staring down a 60% chance of damaging winds from severe thunderstorms. Meanwhile, in the south, weather whiplash. Snowflakes are expected in places like Tennessee, Alabama, and northern Georgia just hours after strong to severe storms ripped through with damaging winds. Jackson, Mississippi saw snowflakes and sleet pellets early Monday. The weather pushed Atlanta public schools to switch to a remote learning day. Air travel turning into a nightmare during spring break with a combination of weather impacts and a TSA worker shortage amidst an ongoing partial government shutdown. Some traveling out of Chicago forced to change their plans.
We're just trying to make sure we can get out, and so last night our flight canceled, and so we're here till like midnight, and so now we're back again today.
Several places in Michigan and Wisconsin received more than 30 inches of snow since a blizzard began hammering the region this weekend.
It's terrible. I would absolutely not be out driving if I didn't have to be. If you don't have a 4x4, I wouldn't leave at all.
At least one person died in a crash in Minnesota. Hundreds of vehicles went off the roads, and dozens were hurt in crashes, according to the state police there. I'm Lee Waldman reporting.
Well, Steve, you saw it right there, but I was just getting used to the spring weather, and then all of a sudden we got the rug pulled out from underneath us.
I mean, we should have known better living in Ohio, but it's only going to be a few days of this before we actually get to turn around and warm up a bit.
I mean, thank goodness. I don't know how much more of this I can take. I mean, it's almost April. I mean, my goodness.
Exactly. So those April showers are going to come, but it's going to take a second. And if we take a look at the nationwide temperature map, we're still dealing with pretty chilly temperatures. So we are going to be dealing with snowflakes for the next few days, but it's not going to last too long because right now we're getting fed all of this cold air that is coming down from the north, and that's providing us with these chillier temperatures because a cold front moved through with that low pressure system that brought all that snow all across the country. But it's not going to last for too long. But if we zoom in a little bit, we're going to be dealing with these sub-freezing temperatures again for the next 24, 48 hours. So if you thought you could put your winter coat away, it's definitely going to have to last a few more weeks because we're not going to be staying there we're not going to be staying too cold for too long. And then if we look at the warnings and watches, we got everything on there. We have a special weather statement, we have a winter weather advisory. So just make sure if you're heading anywhere tonight, tomorrow morning, to give yourself a few extra minutes because the snow is going to stick around through the evening hours. Not quite as heavy as it was earlier, but definitely something to keep an eye on. If we take a look at the radar, we can kind of see that rain has kind of transitioned out, and now we're in this mix, and that'll continue to push east, and we're just going to be dealing with these light flurries as we head into the overnight hours. And then taking a look, zooming out, it kind of clears out. Once we get into tomorrow, we're kind of in the home stretch just in terms of snow. It is going to stay pretty chilly, but that snow risk is going to move out for us. And it all is riding on this high pressure system, pushing this all this way. And once this clears out, we'll have clearer skies. It is going to be a little bit chillier, but it gives way for warmer weather that is going to move in as we head into the middle of the work week. And that can be seen as we start to progress here. 12 hours tomorrow morning. Morning could be a little shaky, but it's nothing to be that alarmed for. Just give yourself a few extra minutes. And we get into tomorrow, we're pretty much cleared out. A few flurries here and there, but that high pressure is going to set up shop, and it's really not going to let any more snowfall as we head into the rest of this work week. And then once we get 36 hours out, nothing much changes. That high pressure just kind of locks down. And as we get 2 days out from now, it slowly starts to push out, but a warm front is actually going to come from behind, and that's what's going to help heat us up. So there's certainly something to look forward to, even though the weather was a little cold today. As we look into tonight, you're going to need to keep those winter coats on, an overnight low of 21 with, again, those snow flurries sticking around. Tomorrow, right at the freezing line, we're going to have a low of 19, so those morning and evening hours are going to be a little bit chillier, but a high of 32 tomorrow with a bit of sunshine peeking out for us. But if we take a look at the 6 to 10 day temperature outlook, we can see our northeasternmost friends are going to stay a little bit below average, but we're going to stick right at about average. So for the next 6 or 10 days, we're going to be right at about 50 degrees because that's the average for this time of year. And then if you push further south, they get even warmer. And if we take a look at our 7 day, we can kind of just see that once this snow pushes out, we're pretty calm for the next few days, and we're going to be dealing with 60s and warmer weather as we move into the rest of the work week, and we'll slowly begin to push up to the 60s. It'll start to feel like spring again, and by this weekend, it looks pretty nice. 66 degrees on Saturday, Sunday, almost identical, and then we drop off a little bit on Monday, but all things considered, a much better outlook than what we have been dealing with today, so absolutely something to look forward to. Back to you, Charlie.
Thanks, Steve. Protein is a critical part of a person's diet. It helps build muscles, repair cells, and create new ones. But experts say many people don't consume it the way they should. Mandy Gaither explains why you need protein at every meal and has simple ways to work it through your everyday diet.
It should be on every plate. Protein is a critical building block for your body, but it needs to be part of every meal.
Spreading out your protein intake leads to the best outcome when it comes to muscle building and sustaining muscle and utilizing that protein.
Julia Zumpano with Cleveland Clinic says your daily protein quota shouldn't be filled in one sitting. Instead, she says to work it into snacks and meals throughout the day, and there are simple ways to do that.
First of all, you want to plan ahead. So the key to optimizing nutrition is planning.
That starts at the grocery store. Zumpano says think about quick and easy protein options for each meal. For breakfast, that could include Greek yogurt, cottage cheese, low-fat cheeses, milk, eggs, sausage, turkey bacon, or Canadian bacon.
Protein shakes are great for snacks or even as a meal replacement.
For lunch and dinner, consider chicken, turkey, fish, lean red meat, or plant-based proteins like lentils, dried beans, peas, nuts, and seeds.
I can't emphasize enough having a large variety of protein sources is really key, and I can't emphasize enough as having them available to you, readily available, so you're able to easily meet your needs.
For Health Minute, I'm Mandy Gaither.
It's spring break season, which means millions of travelers are looking to get away. But the busy travel rush is being snagged by long lines at the airport and surging fuel prices. Despite the travel obstacles, you can still find a last-minute getaway deal. Jen Sullivan explains how to navigate all the travel woes.
Traveling for spring break? Expect long TSA lines. The security line wrapped around the building at Austin Bergstrom International Airport Monday morning. And at Hartsfield-Jackson Atlanta International Airport, TSA lines were nearly 2 hours long.
This is absolutely absurd.
The long security lines are caused by the partial government shutdown as TSA agents work without pay. Many are calling out and even quitting, causing a shortage of agents.
They can't afford it. Most TSA workers, as most Americans are, living paycheck to paycheck.
Travel experts are warning, book your tickets now. The war with Iran is driving up oil prices. That means higher jet fuel prices and higher ticket prices.
Ticket prices, if you're looking about 3 weeks out for booking, have already risen pretty sharply. We've seen pretty solid increases.
It's not all bad news. Travelers can still score some last-minute deals. Many resorts in Puerto Rico are offering discounts right now.
You get an international experience without the hassle of international travel.
Emily Kaufman, known as the Travel Mom, says the Wyndham Palmas Beach and Golf Boutique Resort is offering a 4th night free if you book 3 nights. That deal runs through the end of March. Looking for a cruise?
Holland America Cruise Line has a terrific offer on their Caribbean sailings right now, where you can save up to 50% off of your fares.
Great Wolf Lodge is offering 30% off a 2 or more night stay if you book within 60 days of arrival. For Consumer Watch, I'm Jen Sullivan.
Next in sports, one Ohio basketball team season is over while another has postseason basketball ahead. Find out who's dancing when we return. When we come back after the break, go ahead and follow us on X, Instagram, and Facebook and YouTube. While you wait.
Next time on Antiques Roadshow.
It must have been a wonderful day in the neighborhood when you bought that box.
Questions are answered.
This is more than likely his grandmother.
And secrets are revealed.
You've honored and loved this for a while, but there's a little secret within that I bet you don't know.
I don't know any secrets about it.
Watch Antiques Roadshow next time from Stan Hewitt Hall and Gardens in Akron, Ohio.
Tonight at 9 on WOUB.
Now streaming on the PBS app, the definitive collection from Emmy-winning scholar Henry Louis Gates Jr. From full seasons of Finding Your Roots.
These are your immigrant ancestors.
Oh my goodness.
To acclaimed documentaries.
Black Americans created a world behind the veil.
Discover the incredible history that connects us all. Stream the Henry Louis Gates Jr. collection now with Passport on the PBS app.
On Secrets of the Dead, an early Christian basilica underwater for nearly 1,000 years.
How is it that till now, no one has noticed the presence of such a large monument?
Scientists are racing to unravel the church's mysteries.
We want to know when it was built, when it was destroyed, and how it was destroyed.
We work like detectives, archaeological detectives.
The Sunken Basilica on Secrets of the Dead.
Wednesday at 10 on WOUB.
She's an American master, but do you know who this woman is?
Bella Abzug is a woman who is fighting for the right of women to share equally the political power with men.
She was in Congress, Bella Abzug. Bella was a battler.
People would be yelling, "Give him hell, Bella."
Bella Abzug.
Meet Bella. This woman's place is in the House of Representatives.
Mrs. Nixon said, "Oh, there you are, you and your cute little bonnet."
And on American Masters.
Tuesday at 9 on WOUB.
Welcome back. I'm Grant Kiefer. Right, basketball fans, you guys already know this is the best week of the year. It's Christmas this week. March Madness this week. Conference tournament play was last week. MAC tournament was happening. It was a little bit of a mixed bag for both OU teams, but one is going to play some more postseason basketball. Starting on the men's side, they had a good shot against 3-seeded Kent State in the quarterfinals and were only 3.5-point underdogs, but ended up falling behind early in the second half. Ohio trailed by just 3 at the break, but quickly fell behind by 15. The Bobcats fought back, but it was too deep of a hole to dig out of, ending the careers of 5 seniors. Ohio women's basketball, though, they had slightly better fortunes. They were able to win their first MAC tournament game since 2021 after beating 4-seeded Central Michigan behind Bailey Tabling's career-high 33 points. Went ahead and set up a rematch just less than a week prior against Miami, who they beat by 15, when the Bobcats upset them in Athens. But lightning would not strike twice. Miami boat raced the Bobcats and hit 16 three-pointers en route to a 28-point victory, to go on to win the MAC tournament, clinching a spot in this year's NCAA tournament. I will say you can't end the season with a loss like that, and luckily others agree Ohio will be heading to the WNIT for the first time since 2022. They're going to be hosting a game as well right here in Athens. UMBC will be here first round this Thursday at the Convo starting at 7 p.m. If Ohio wins, it sets up a matchup against the rival Marshall at their place, who Ohio beat in a scrimmage prior to the season. While Ohio wasn't fortunate enough to make March Madness, a lot of other local teams were. The MAC got multiple teams into the NCAA tournament for the first time since 1999. Miami and the conference champion Akron, they are in. Miami faces SMU in the first 4 on Wednesday. Akron faces Texas Tech on Friday. Ohio State's going to kick off the whole first round on Thursday against TCU. Kentucky starts play on Friday afternoon versus Santa Clara. On the women's side, not as many teams. They're all playing on Saturday, too. Miami's going to make the trip over to Morgantown to face the Mountaineers, while Kentucky's also going to be in that region taking on James Madison. Ohio State continued its success this season and is a 3-seed who will start play on Saturday at home against Howard. All right, a lot of postseason on the basketball side. You've got high school, you've got college, but right now it's coming to a close in the ACHA. And the Ohio Bobcats, luckily, season's not over yet. They're in the semifinals right now. Fortunes have been pretty good. They are in action as we speak in St. Louis. Quick recap, though. Ohio smoked Maryville 8-1 yesterday. Just utter domination. On the other side of the bracket, UNLV taking on Adrian. Right now, Ohio's playing 11-seeded Calvin. They are up 2-0. Luke Reeve got the first goal, currently in the second period. That one's on Flow Hockey as we speak. Spring football season also officially here, and for the second season in a row, Ohio's going to come into it with a new head coach. Bobcats also have a new GM for the second year in a row. Sean Cook is the former assistant of player development at Texas A&M and is now a first-time GM in Athens. All right, a lot of postseason stuff going on. We've got basketball WNIT this week. We've got NCAA wrestling championships this weekend. And, of course, your Bobcats might be in the ACHA final. You're not going to want to miss any coverage. Go ahead and follow at Bobcats Showcase on X, Facebook, and Instagram so you don't miss anything. Let's go ahead and send it back to Charlie.
Thanks, Grant. Still ahead, the 2026 Oscars were last night. Hear about historic winners. We'll be back after the break, but until then, here's a look at what's coming up on your public television station.
are part of a revolution.
That, for me, is so exciting.
Hiding right under our noses, there are secret worlds that come to life. Now, on this rapidly changing planet, discover how people are finding new ways to live alongside nature. That could help the next generation create real change. A shared planet is a better home for all of us.
Changes are coming to WOUB 20.5. Starting April 1st, we're expanding our trusted coverage of Ohio government, public affairs, and statewide programming. Evening and primetime hours will now feature continuous programming from the Ohio Channel, providing in-depth access to the decisions and discussions shaping our state. From legislative sessions to public forums to stories from communities across Ohio, it's all right here. Stay informed, stay connected, watch the Ohio Channel on WOUB 20.5.
The 98th Oscars brought the movie awards season to a rousing close. A big night for Sinners as Michael B. Jordan won the Academy Award for Best Actor.
And everybody at home who supported Sinners, who went to go see the movie once, twice, 3, 4, 5 times, thank you. Because you guys made this movie what it is. I love you. I love you. I love you.
Ryan Coogler was recognized for the film's original screenplay, and Autumn Durrell Arcapa became the first woman to win an Oscar for cinematography. Amy Madigan was delighted to accept Best Supporting Actress for Weapons, as was Jessie Buckley, named Best Actress for Hamnet. Sean Penn was not there to accept Best Supporting Actor for One Battle After Another, but the film's casting director, Cassandra Koulakundis, gleefully accepted the first ever Academy Award for casting. Paul Thomas Anderson won his first 3 Oscars, Best Adapted Screenplay, Best Director, and Best Picture of the Year. Well, I think I know the answer, but have either of you seen any of these movies?
I have not, but I have family members who are really into movies, so I think that kind of counts.
I don't know about that. Grant?
Chalamet got robbed. He got robbed.
Have you seen the movie?
No, I just like him.
He did not see the movie. Okay. Well, if you haven't seen it, you should absolutely see Sinners. Fantastic movie. I haven't seen One Battle After Another, but Marty Supreme, also a great movie. Just a great year for cinema, but honestly, the best performance has been Mother Nature this week. I mean, back and forth, all over the place. Steve, what are we looking at for the future?
You know, for tonight, it's going to be a great night to stay in and watch a movie because that cold weather is going to stick around. We're having an overnight low of 21 degrees, and we're going to have these snow chances that are lasting through the evening and into tomorrow morning. But if we look at the 7-day, we're dealing with a gradual warm-up after Mother Nature really kind of brought winter back this morning. And we'll have Wednesday with a high of 42 and a low at the freezing line of 32. And then on Thursday, we're going to climb up to near 60 with a high of 57. And those clouds are going to stay in and help keep all this heat building up into the weekend. As for Friday, we get 62 degrees and a low of 44. And then on Saturday, we jump back up to 66. So we kind of have all 4 seasons this week. We kind of started with winter today. We're going to get a little bit of spring Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. And then we're going to get, not quite summer, but we're going to get some sunshine and some heat back into our region for the weekend. So if you have any plans, maybe postpone them towards the weekend because it's going to be a lot more enjoyable to head outside this weekend as opposed to earlier this week.
Should have been flip-flopped. I mean, I want to watch basketball on Thursday and Friday. I want the cold weather while I'm inside watching TV.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, it's really not enjoyable to miss the nice weather with all that basketball, but, you know, maybe a little bit of a balancing act coming up this weekend. Yeah, but that does it for our broadcast this evening. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned for the PBS NewsHour coming up next. Have a great night.